Hey guys, so for this video, we're gonna talk about the Satira law. We're gonna talk about how the airline industry will be somehow, what will be the impact of what's happening today to the airline industry and what kind of money they need to stay afloat. Then we're gonna talk about the lockdown. How is it impacting also the new disclosure that they did today, plus the market in general. So I'm back again with my set of raw vlogs for all of you. Just me tambaying and sharing my thoughts and my insights as raw as it can be. So I'm gonna make a combination of videos like this. So as you all know, over the past few days, I've been making webinar type of YouTube videos, then charting videos, then podcast type videos, then the normal vlogs, and we're gonna have also this just raw me making kwento about some of my thoughts about the markets, because as you all know, sometimes when you start trading and investing in the markets, having knowledge on not just technical analysis but what's happening in the macro, what's happening on industry slash sector, and also having insights on certain policies that the government is pushing may influence buying and selling, or may influence their fundamentals as well. So for those who don't know, the Satira law basically is Corporate Income Tax and Incentives Reform Act. So if you heard of train law, which was more than 2 years ago, the train law basically put taxes on sugar items, on tobacco, on cars, etc., which the basic context of them adding taxes is for them to be able to fund build, and the next tranche kasi of that is the Satira law. So this is basically changing the corporate income taxes, and then changing some because here's the thing. The last time they did that, I think, was around in the 1980s, and they had this law was supposed to address and provide more funding so that build could actually happen. But there's a lot of pushback also from a lot of the senators right now, primarily because a lot of the corporations, a lot of the businesses right now are having a hard time in terms of earning money, getting sales, getting revenue, and everyone has been basically hit. So this Satira law will basically put added taxes to these corporations, and which is also needed right now because the government needs funding, the government needs money in order for them to be able to pay for all of the expenses that's going on. So please remember, whatever you're seeing, all of the social amelioration programs, all of the things that they've been doing to be able to subsidize people's money, giving food, the medicine, the hospital stuff that's being provided for, all of that's coming out from the government's pocket. So they need ways on how they can get money on top of it. So taxes is one of them, but I agree with some of the senators who gave their own inputs, that one of the ways for them to be able to raise money now will be just keep on borrowing, because corporations right now are having a hard time. So better borrow the money and then make the economy good so that we have enough money to pay for it later on. So that's my thoughts on that. But it's very, very clear that we are in need of, the country's in need of money, in regardless of how they fund it, either borrowing or raising taxes. My opinion is better just borrow, so that it keeps the economy afloat, and then later on we just have enough. We get to go back to where we were before. That when we go back to where we were before, we have enough surplus that we get to be able to pay whatever debts that we borrowed. Next, there was a computation that the aviation sector, meaning airline companies, needs 8.6 billion pesos a month of monthly aid, meaning the government will have to help these airline companies already to be able to just survive and pay for their own operational expenses. As you all know, airplanes are meant to be in the sky, not on the ground, because if they're on the ground, there's still a lot of maintenance, there's still a lot of upkeep that they have to pay for. These are expensive machines, and that the upkeep of those airplanes are very, very expensive. So every time that they're not on the air, there's a lot of cost attached to it. But aside from it having a lot of cost attached to it, they're not making money. So the bill for everything is around 8.6 billion pesos. So the argument there between the policymakers and the lawmakers is, do they give that money to help I don't think it's a bailout. No, it could be a loan that they can also borrow, uh, which will help the airline industry, which in turn also, please remember, there's a lot of jobs reliant on the airline industry, and it could be a ripple effect also if all of these airline companies would close, or if there would be any defaults on top of them. But I think one of the issues that they're looking at is, where did you allocate the money, given that this is the resources that you have? Do you put them in the airline industry, or do you give them more to people who need cash, who need food right now? So I think it's tough to be in this decision, that you have to pick between your resources, where you're supposed to put it and how you're supposed to allocate it. So there. But if you've been consistently watching my videos, you know it very, very well, that one of the most hit industries right now is the airline industry. Anything travel related, anything tourism related will be hit. But for people to travel, airlines will be pretty much part of it. And I don't know, until there's a vaccine or a cure, I've been very, very consistent about this, that uh, airlines won't really make a lot of money. So if you are, and I feel also for a lot of people who are working there, if you've been hit dramatically, it would be good right now if there's not, if, especially if you're a cabin crew, you're a flight attendant, and revenues, or at least you're not flying, it means that you're also not earning. My suggestion is you find ways already on how you can retool, or at least earn, while this new normal is also happening. But we can't really expect the airline industry to be as robust as where it was before, as good as where it was years prior. So third topic, the modified lockdown. Here's the thing, everyone is either going into GCQ, and the ones that went into GCQ last May 1, they wouldn't have any quarantine anymore, but they would have I think they will still have social distancing. The rules will apply still for social distancing. The new normal of sanitation will still be there. But what's basically gonna change is, majority of the Philippines right now will either be in GCQ or won't be anymore in any quarantine, with the exception of Metro Manila, Cebu, and Laguna. Which is, you know why this is so important? Those three places, Metro Manila, Cebu, Laguna, comprise a big chunk of the GDP. So they will be in modified lockdown. It's not anymore like what it was a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, where everything is strictly on lockdown. But I think some of the industries right now will be in 50% capacity, meaning what they're trying to do, the main direction is they're trying to open up the economy little by little by little. And there's a lot of debate between this. I've been seeing a lot of reports that people are saying that this is the number of deaths that have been brought about by the coronavirus, versus the number of people who may die because they don't have jobs. So I think the narrative here is basically this. This is twofold already. This is a health crisis, and in the same way, it's turning into a financial crisis. If it takes so long before they open up the economy, a lot of industries and a lot of jobs will suffer. But if they don't if they do it too fast naman, I think one of the biggest risks and one of the biggest problems that may happen is, there might be a second wave, there might be a third wave, like what we're seeing in other countries. So taking it slowly prevents a second or third wave from happening, but it also gives a shot that other parts of the economy starts to open already. So I hope, no, this is my wish list. This is something that I hope that from an economic standpoint will happen in areas where it's already starting to open up, in areas that are not Metro Manila, in areas that are not Cebu, in areas that are not Laguna, that they pump and prime agriculture there, because at the end of the day, a lot of spending will still go there. But also, they restart all of the infrastructure programs that will happen. And I think I've been saying this in a lot of videos, that's very, very, very vital, because at the end of the day, the modified lockdown in these three areas will open up certain industries already a bit, and it will help kickstart the economy. But this is still a big chunk of our GDP that's still closed. And even though if you remember, areas where they are in GCQ, malls will be open, but it's still the essential portions that will be open. No movies, I think no dining in, no mass gatherings still. So that being said, there will still be an impact. We won't be fully operational. It won't be the economy in 2019. It won't be how the economy was in November, December 2019. We're still in the new economy. We're still into something different. So the expectation will still be the same, that the second quarter GDP for the year won't be as rosy, it won't be as good. The third quarter GDP for the year also won't be as good. But it doesn't mean, no, if you're trading the markets, it doesn't mean you can't make money, because there will be opportunities later on. And I kept saying this. I'm saying this part, 1040 part. If you're a long-term investor, this is for you. If you're a long-term investor and you have already studied which companies are good, which companies are cheap, there's still an opportunity right here, right now, for you to position. And as long as you don't mind the volatility, as long as you have cash flow, as long as you have cash, as long as you can deploy, and if it goes down further, you have may bala ka pa pang salo, then it would be prudent. As long as you know that your parameters have been set, you're buying companies based on your analysis that 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they will recover from this. That later on, because they're recovering, their stock price will somehow follow. But because their stock price will somehow follow, you are buying them right now when there's still a lot of risk involved. There's still a lot of uncertainty, but because of the risk, but because of the uncertainty, later on when everything goes back to normal, you will be rewarded for it. But again, that's not for everyone. I don't think this advice is for everyone of you that's watching. These are for people who are again, for those who are trading. You can just reference all of the stocks that I'm putting for stocks by request, because that's generally for trading. But if you are a long-term investor, you're a fundamental investor, it would be very, very good to revisit the companies that you are buying. Because if you look at it right now also, even with the declaration of, there are a couple of things that have been also set out. The GDP shrunk for the first quarter. There's still a lockdown right now, up until the modified lockdown, up until 15 days more, meaning that it will spread on up until the end of May. But if you look at the index was just down 0.29%. So basically, you could say that it's still flat, and the index is at 5651, with foreigners still selling. Net foreign selling is at 968 million pesos today, and Ali, SM Prime were virtually sold down. They had a larger percentage down today as compared to the other days that we've seen the markets. But what I want to repeat over and over is, we came from 9,000, we dropped to 4,000, we've rebounded. All of the fear of how this lockdown will be, all of the fear that happened because of the coronavirus, I think that was priced in the drop to 4,000. No one knows if it will go even lower, because while I'm making this video, the US market is still up. The US market continues to move up, but that's a different story, because there's so much money moving into their capital markets right now. So that's a different story altogether. But 9,000, 4,000 bounce. Right now we're consolidating. Right now we're moving sideways. You can reference the other videos that when I posted the charts there. But we're virtually consolidating. We're basically consolidating right now. So what does that mean? We've hit a point already where when it was too cheap to ignore, a lot of people started to buy. We've gone up. A lot of the stocks that I've posted, if you've seen it, have gone up either 30, 40, 50% already. Some of them, the pure golds, have done really, really well also. The globes, the PLDTs have done really, really well. But I guess what I want to say on top of that is basically this. A lot of the stocks have gone up, but it's not yet back to where it was before. And the reason behind that is there's still the uncertainty. The uncertainty of what will happen from this coronavirus is still there. So, a couple of things that I'll just say over and over. Wait until you see some certainty. Markets will go up. But the choice is yours. Are you buying when there's still a lot of fear and there's a chance that it will go lower? Or are you buying when all of the fear is gone? Because when you're buying when all of the fear is gone, then you might be buying it at a higher price. So two things lang naman eh. You buy now, your position with the risk that it may go lower, but you also have to wait. Or you wait now, stay in cash. When all of the fear is over, that's when you start to come in. But in either scenario, you will still have to wait. Again, let me quantify it. These are for investors. These are not for traders. For traders, just follow stocks by request, follow the charting, because there will be some areas where there are buy signals. But right now, for general investors, especially for long-term investors, as the market is sideways, patience is necessary because it may not move it until something else will shift. But I'm managing your expectations right now that you can expect second and third quarter GDP won't be as good. So will it be so bad that when it gets released, will the markets go even lower? Or it will be at par with people's expectations that when it gets released, we will just continue to go sideways, and then we start to move up again as we see more results that are doing better. For those sectors that you think will be affected the most, or if you're asking what sectors, I made several videos on it. You can just reference the previous videos. But that's generally my take into all of this. Airline industry, they're the biggest hit. Government will try to see if they can help out. Citiralo, I'm not sure if it's something that's needed right now in order to raise money. They could just borrow. Then you have the modified lockdown. The sooner we get out from this lockdown, the sooner everything goes back, na what the restrictions are lessened, we give a better shot for the economy to reopen again. So there. This is not, by the way, this is not a political post. This is not also me. I'm not a health expert, but I'm just communicating my thoughts also on what I believe could possibly happen in terms of how the markets will go and how should you react as an investor. But just to somehow put this to a close, anytime there's fear, you will always buy it cheaper. Anytime it becomes scarier, you will always buy it cheaper. Anytime that fear is gone, you will always have to buy it at a premium. So the choice is yours, the strategy is yours, but at the end of the day, it's a decision that you must make. Do not let this channel, or do not let me tell you what you're supposed to do. Do not let other people also tell you what you're supposed to do. It's your money, it's your investments, it's your responsibility. But if there's one thing that I do know is this: there's still so much opportunity available, and it's your responsibility to be able to find that. It's your responsibility to be able to navigate and look at the opportunities available for you to be able to navigate and make money during this time. So there. And by the way, I always forget to introduce myself. If you're watching this for the very first time and you stayed up until the 17-minute mark, my name is Marvin Gurmo. This channel is Marvin Gurmo. I have a second channel called Marvin Gurmo Podcast, but I make daily videos on investing. Particularly in this channel, it's purely about the stock market. So if you want to be part of the group of Filipinos, part of the 106,000 subscribers that are so eager to learn about investing in the market, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe and smash that bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing, about the stock market, and about reaching your goals of financial freedom. And if you want to learn further, I have 5 books. Those 5 books are in the description below. You can order them via Shopee. If you order them via Shopee, it will be delivered. I don't know what their turnaround time is, but they'll deliver. If you're not in Shopee's area, there's another link beside that where they can deliver also. Then 3 online courses. Number 1 is a Zoom course with Sean Si. It's happening this Friday. Then another course is another course with Sean Si. It's called Make Money, Grow Money. It's business, investing, and the stock market. And the third course is Stock Market for Everyone with Chinkee Tan. It's a Tagalog stock market basic course para sa mga gustong matuto kung anong stock market sa wikang Tagalog. Yung course na yun ay para sa'yo. So, all of those are in the description below. And if you'd like to subscribe to my second channel, Marvin Gurmo Podcast, appreciate it if you can. So, there. I hope you guys enjoyed this raw vlogs. We're nearing the 19-minute mark. I want to know if you guys are still staying and you like inputs like this, yung kwentuhan lang. I haven't done things like this in a very, very long time because most of my vlogs, if you notice it, it's normally vlog type, podcast type, charting type, webinar type of formats. But I just want to know if this is something also that helps you. It's just me sharing my thoughts on a very timely manner. I think relevant information based on what's happening today. But above and beyond that, it's It's me sharing my thoughts on the market, and I think what's very very important right now is a lot of people get relevant and timely information so that they get to decide on what they're supposed to do with their money. But above and beyond that, I'll keep saying this over and over, regardless of where you are, never lose hope. Never keep upgrading, never stop upgrading your skills, never stop hustling, never stop trying to do better, because as you start getting better, that's what's gonna allow you to make money also later on. So keep on learning, keep on hustling, keep on being the best version of yourself, but never lose hope. So that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.